Since its introduction on the big screen in 1987, the Predator has become a staple in pop culture with its iconic design and strict hunting code. This sci-fi beast is undoubtedly one of the coolest movie aliens, but in recent years, both movies and games have failed to truly push forward content that does the Predator and its lore any real justice. However, today, as a die-hard fan of the franchise, I have a concept I would like to pitch to you. So without further hesitation, let's get right into the video. What is going on, everyone? It is the Blind Prophet. Playing the recent Predator Hunting Grounds felt like more than a disappointment. It felt like those videos of kids opening up a PS4 or iPhone box for Christmas just to find a rock in place of what they were expecting. The concept, which admittedly sounds partially intriguing on paper with you and a group of friends playing a version of the original movie, the actual experience just fizzles out in about an hour. It feels worse when you see the areas in the game where the devs tried. For example, when you heal as the Predator, depending on how injured you are, the Predator will whip its head back and roar, very much like the healing scene in the movie. Small details like this, although fun and appreciated, didn't help keep the game engaging and incentivize multiple playthroughs, at least for me. So because of this, I want to talk about the game I would love to see for the Predator. I would first ditch the nostalgia factor to a degree. Hunting Grounds primarily marketed off of this, with a trailer having the squad in a helicopter playing Long Tall Sally, and again, the game being a sort of mock-up of the first movie. I would get rid of nostalgia to an extent, and the human element. We need to play as a Predator. I always hear people discuss how Concrete Jungle is the definitive Predator game, and I think that's a model we need to come back to. A full-on single-player narrative of Predator experience. Something that would give us a closer look into the lives and culture of the Yautja, which really have only been explained in books or comics. Being able to choose our Predator's gender, and how they approach the hunt, whether that be more traditional or more advanced, using technology, and see their journey to become an Elder Predator, which in fairness is sort of an element that can be explored in Hunting Grounds, but again is limited to the experience provided. I would like to see it explored in a full single-player adventure. This is just something I would love to see, as I can envision it somewhat like The Witcher, where we spend most of our time tracking and hunting down various species to trophy. However, it would also be an opportunity to explore the morality of the predators and their code, similar to what was shown in Predator vs. Alien. Maybe we could protect a human, or even better yet, if we fight a human and lose, maybe we would have to give them a piece of our gear, as predators have made the choice in past mediums to either kill themselves, kill both parties, or offer up something as a sign of respect. So having to part with a piece of gear in respect of your opponent's victory would be really cool. Traversal could also play a big part in the game. With the Predator's agility and strength, we could jump through trees and scale buildings, as well as utilize a great bit of stealth and reconning to single out our trophy target. Stealth should also play a big role, as we would have to scope out which target is truly worthy of becoming a trophy, and being able to disappear with the infamous cloak and take out individuals one by one, and how we approach that could really make for a fun, engaging, and replayable experience. I can just imagine it now, switching to thermal vision and it being in a first-person perspective like the movies. That would be so freaking cool. Another element I'd like to see played with is maybe fear. We've seen it a lot in the movies, how the predators don't just go in and kill all at once. They go in methodically, executing one by one, and we've seen how that affects certain characters. So maybe fear like that could be used in a way that would help us weed out those that aren't worthy of becoming our trophy. Similar to how the Mongols would cower and run away from Jin in Ghost of Tsushima. One more element that I could see adding to the immersion, if done well enough, could be co-op, to an extent. In the beginning of the game, we could utilize co-op as a way to learn the mechanics and flow of the game, until we become a blooded predator. Then, as we venture off into the universe ourselves, rather than continue the co-op, we compete with our blooded predator peers, either physically during a hunt, or see their stats of their hunt, and try to beat their time or health loss type of thing. I see that as being a great way to tie the community during an experience like this, while keeping it in-world lore as well. For an experience like this, I wouldn't want to see an extensive online co-op feature though, just because from my own personal experience, trying to play co-op games is a struggle, and can hinder the experience of a game for me. The closest example I can think of is Red Dead Online, an incredible game and extension of its single-player experience, but without a dedicated group of friends to play and communicate with, it's not as engaging of an experience. So if it can be included without being a core element, I once again feel it could tie the community together. Finally, one small element I would be thrilled to see is now with Disney's acquisition of Fox, a face-off between a Predator and Boba Fett would be freaking legitness.
Here in my hometown, Rotorua. The Polynesian spa. Come on, New Zealand, try something new. There are no words.
The only way I really see this working is as an Easter egg of sorts, where maybe we come across a predator who was defeated by Boba Fett, and we look through its helmet to see the recording and log and find out it was the clone himself taking on a predator. Just because I wouldn't want to have to deal with the explaining who walks out the fight if it was between us and Boba, so seeing the fight from another perspective would allow for less of a plot fiasco. These are just a few of the things that come to mind for me when thinking about the perfect Predator game I would love to play. A mix of Assassin's Creed, Just Cause, Jedi Fallen Order, The Witcher, and of course Predator, to create a unique and much needed refreshing take on the franchise that isn't just going to fizzle out and can be regarded as a key part of what makes the Predator so iconic. We're seeing Ubisoft take on the Avatar as a full single player AAA experience, so hopefully treatment like this with other movie franchises could carry over and help a game like this with so much potential to draw from become a reality. Ubisoft Paris and Milan already showed great interest in Predator with some of the content they released in Ghost Recon Wildlands, with a full mission and several cosmetic items dedicated to the Predator, so maybe they could step up to this plate. I would love to know what you all think though. Would you like to see a game like this made? Or are you happy with a game like Hunting Grounds? I would love to know and discuss it with you in the comments down below. I would also love to know what you think of this type of video as I jump back into YouTube. Knowing what you guys think of this type of content would mean a lot and help out. But as always, my friends, stay hydrated, let them pass in peace, and Excelsior.